Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Yeah, I can do a complete diff. Now that there might still be some noise in there. I'm wondering, can I actually get to? I can look both at the individual changes. I got one thing I need to do is uh, push. Okay, so there's no actual conflict with the existing. Uh, Character exclaims. Mostly, well, no, this is all the home location stuff. But all of this got further changed as he added the leader follower. So it's like I didn't want to go off just these. But this gives me an idea of things that were changed. Family members. So this is another thing we want to look at. Ancestor of this person. Is this only direct ancestors? Not, well, maybe lineage is including, like got the uncle, niece, nephew. Not sure how that works. We've got all the commands. For any person, follower receives an order. Support arrow. So I'll probably have to just look at code areas, well, or just browse the in order. Leader sees follower. Dies. Some of this might be some interesting stuff to play with too. Maybe in leader arrows. Yeah, this should be all server. Or it's a carried baby. Okay, so we've got that. We've got the total diff of that entire file. That's the master scroll bar. Curse display pointed to offspring that don't exist yet. So this must be an asynchronous message thing, where the server notifies us of the baby, but we haven't actually received the birth announcement. Okay, so this is home pause stuff. And then, well, let's get home. Add temp home location, got a person ID, and person key. Not depend on held map. Get an immediate time. Hmm. I almost want to say that person tagging or maybe even other expiration tagging should be a separate operation. But then you somehow have to return the marker. Update person home location. Get home error. Out temp person. Uh, yeah, I think we dealt with this before and dealt with. That's curse name. Yeah, and the person hint. Rep hint, person hint. That will be its own special little bit of trouble. Update location. It's the first name stuff. More position stuff. Got our own lineage. Now, some of this we'll be able to build off of. This is also going to be really hard stuff to touch because it involves a lot of people. First tags. Dealt with that. Follower marker. And then we're into the header file, which first name, closest spot, first tag. Okay, this may be mostly taken care of for us. So we're looking at, we're probably going to need this stuff in our location tags. So his was home pause. I may have had to find this in the header file in order to have a data structure. Yes. So this isn't actually using his code. I don't have to worry about the names matching up that much. I think labeled is for natural home. Well, I guess it's technically any temporary marker. How is that used? if it is temporary. Which is to say, it will have an expiration at some point. It's any temporary. I guess that still affects where the class I put them in. Is temp person an ID? You had to update the calls to add temp home location, where a person is got an ID. He's using char as a boolean. Okay. But that's all. I don't know what a key is. Is this gonna be like? Oh, this might be like baby supporter leader. I guess the first step is just to. I know there was like a bunch of stuff that just wouldn't make sense. Right, it had to do specifically with the timing changes. So we could just track the person flag. Well, so that just all the extra arguments for if it's a person. Seemed a little odd, but add temp home location only gets called from one spot. So maybe just doing a bunch of extra arguments isn't that off. Because temp home location is already going to do temporary. I know I want to have a thing that comes along and says, okay, now do all the person fields, but this has to deal with. He removes all of them. I might remove. Add location slip. He's going to make this one as labeled. It's going to set a slip color. Actually, you see, even if I do a separate thing for person, it's still going to be. Well, I wouldn't have to pass the person flag. I remove the slip for that location. Which, if it's a person, we actually have an ID to track it by other than its location. Interesting. That means you could, well, if somebody got born on a thing you had a map to, it would disappear the map, but maps are temporary. If they were born on your home, they could erase your home. Of course, I guess the same would be true for a map pointing. So these are still considered temporary. Oh no, it's temporary person, not just person. For parity with base code. I have to include you in the page. We needed something that was in the page. I forget. So if we follow that example, we have could there be a person ID 0 or a null person key? Might be in. I don't hear anything. Of course, this is why I don't like lining stuff up, because then that happens. Okay, he did set that and then reset it. I don't think this matters for either of them. Yeah. That will get overridden. Hmm. Lots of comments. Of course, all we know is a person right now. We don't know if it's a. There's another baby. All we know is it's a person, not a leader follower. And we have to leave that alone for now. So that should but that does something for our time. Wait, was I call this correctly? As a temp home location, update person home location. Which, once again, has to use that. In object. This appears to have gone right below add temp. Oh, it actually merged in such a way that, well, I was doing a lot of this stuff as parity to all of those functions. So in a sense, go here. Not home pause stack, but M location. Person ID, update the location. One, two. Okay, there's baby ID. Held by adult. No, you're the bracket. Try to keep it single. Two different kinds of updates. Get home dir. I think I've already kind of worked around this a little bit. Oh, that outputs a thing to, probably a thing to show on the slip. Not per slip data. That shouldn't be an issue, although I suppose we'll have to go in and add the stuff to display that. And that should be taken care of. Curses are a separate thing. Off-screen sound. That gets into drawing that stuff, which get home dir, getting the hints. I can come back to that. Getting like the family relations to test this is going to be the tricky part. Okay, there's that. Genetic family we want to come back to later. Person key. Or is this add temp home location? Okay, so we should I've already covered that. Closest follower, genetic family. Curse tag. Speech again. Unmarked, marked. White object. Alright, that might be enough to have things at least working. Oh, let's update a type. Not a directory. Oh, that's okay. So I actually missed that. Oh, yeah, I cd'd the executable. That doesn't work. Wait, didn't I? 11. As it came version number. Oh, because I copied one life. So we just do that in this local directory. That's where I was supposed to type that. Oh, and now it wants to rebuild because it's that version. All right, and now for me to actually get a relative, I basically need an adult daughter. There a setting for that. I'm not well set up to do code mods on the server. Pretty sure it won't send you a baby announcement for your own baby. The leader things are going to be pretty similar. Curse. Force Eve Age. Yeah, I don't think there's a setting for initial player age. Oh, that was that directory. All right. Build. Email. Fine. Oh, this is A2. You can have VUG power. Oh, so you are followers. That is sort of handy. Okay, so we don't have any display here. But those are actually correct now. Did I have some clothes set up? Problem is we keep dying in them. But yes, okay, our hierarchy thing is white. Which is actually kind of not great, because I was thinking of using hierarchy color for those announcements. So where the heck does it get that? Badge color. Personal leadership color. So I guess everybody has a color that they will be if they are like the leader. Hey, spreadsheet Sim, how's it going? Badge colors C. Like, oh, yep, there is a limited set of badge colors. I am doing some personal tweaks to a game that has public source. In particular, there are. I got that straight over there. There are. Actually, has some words. There are a number of markers for things. Oh, we're close enough. It doesn't show. You can have a home marker. There can be these big bells that ring off in the distance. This is for your stated stuff for like followers and leaders so you can find each other. And I'm adapting to all of the changes that go with that. Like the basic one has a label here. But like in the base game, like there was only one. Now you can have one for a bell and one for something else, and all the babies and leaders and followers and stuff. It kind of wipes out your home marker. But even before that, I was starting to split these out so you could actually have multiple markers. Once you kind of broke away from one, it's like, well, maybe we could get into that a little bit. Oh, 1 hour, one life. Stick.com on that. You can find the game's website. I'll feed you. All right, so we've got, so for hierarchy events, and this is just a, I'm adjusting the pointers. So in the base game, like I said, you only get one, maybe two pointers. I'm a good setup for generating a whole lot of markers. Oop. We've got the order events. There are little map markers, which those are temporary, so not as big a deal. Ew. We're both getting lifetime events. Uh, Personal leadership color. Well, any as badge. Leader with no other leaders above. Our highest leader. This is GVim of the Vim family. The color scheme I basically copied over from my Mac Vim. Animation badge color. It's badge color. So for most purposes, add temp. Oh, add location slip. Well, yeah, we can get our live object. Our live object, and there it is. I never got into Sublime. I forget what the TextMate was, the one that was the big thing for a while. And at some point, I just decided to just pick an editor instead of changing with the fad every couple of years. I mean, we can probably assume this exists. That's probably the badge color ID. Get float color. Oh, maybe the ID is a communication thing. Float color. Okay. Oh yeah, because that's setting that, and then we grab the badge color from there. So this should just be a float color, which I think is what we're using. Oh, all right. Both of these. Okay. So you're the child. So A2 ended up being the parent this time. You can actually issue orders. A little bit of distance. Oh, you're actually still fine. Oops. Yep, it's white, so it's gonna look kind of like a home slip. Oh, you didn't receive. Huh. The thing about reconnecting did not. Oh, right. There's a distance limit on order transmission. Huh. Well, if you've got a home marker to look, well, that ought to be okay. Yeah, the fact that we actually start out at white is interesting. Then we do want to. Nothing in the data says baby per se. Follower, supporter, leader, baby. So those are just, or those are not common things that we can. Well, I could pull them out to be, because that's the only thing we have that identifies what kind of relationship we're doing. And I still have to draw that. Which I took out all of the code that drew like bell or map or whatever because I was doing it with color. Thousands. There's the distance. Uh, All right, so we've got follow. Wait, is it follower or up follower? You know, if it's a baby, we don't pass that down. Key. Yeah, those are the possibilities. I guess that would work. I think it was all lowercase. then those will all be the same string. When we add a location, add temp, location slip. And say if, and this is out of style. Well, need to get the live object if it's a baby. Oh, actually, I did have another idea about that. I don't know if it is accessible, easily accessible to the program, though. Into OK. Pink is easy. I don't know if like skin tone is a programmatic thing. That might all be data-based. So there is it. Living object. You don't have living object. Oh, it might be live object. No. Okay. We've got a list of them. And it's still I mistype it. Display ID. Lineage. Writing offset. Yeah, it might actually be a display character. Display car. Display object. Display ID. So that is going to be, could be an animation bank or it could be an object. Right draw color override. Draw with badge color. Me. Stencils. Coloring. Aid. Applicative. All right, so object bank. Right color override. Float color. Color equals. Although if I have to dig into the objects to get. Might be a little bit tricky. I don't need a separate CPP file for these. Shoot, I don't know. The character display. It's all normal. I have to go into almost get on the editor to do that. Does that seem slightly reddish? $2404. Okay. But identifying that would be true. I mean, it would be the only thing with a non-1 color. The only non-1 color in a display ID. Maybe. Kind of care if you this particular set of people because they're related. In fact, some of these might be a little bit old for. Oh, you're definitely too old. New offspring baby and right, because we're just doing all of these as leadership color. Oh, right, this is the baby, not. All right, so this would probably be sprite color override stuff. Like defining this. Things defining it here though. Oh, this must be to implement the badge in object sprite color. Color equals, okay. You get passed down as a giant call to add object. So maybe object. Or maybe that goes under the sprite system. Or is it actually, so it's object bank just handling like saving and loading, and then animation bank handles actually drawing. I'll set draw color objects. So given that's a sprite, we would have to look up the display ID. Almost become a different. There was the thing about that maybe we might have gotten a baby announcement about a baby we hadn't seen. So if race was ever to become variable, couldn't necessarily use your own skin. Well, let's see what we can. I'm curious if we can even get this. Although maybe that's a thing to come back and invest. All right. Now this is not a. People are these spin tones. They're not. Is there anything pink in One Life? Uh. I mean, I could pick one of the skin tones. One of them seems pinkish. I don't know if it's one that's in use. Like Adobe, we've got pies, we've got hot metal. We've got meat. Got shaved sheep. That's not quite meat. Got pigs. Got baby pigs. Piglet. Oop, not butcher. Domestic piglet. 1327. No, I want you with. That might be okay. All right, so you are RGB 250 44 46. All right. So you're kind of okay. You're old, but you're still there. And baby's being held. Oh, let's see to that. I actually see these announcements. I just have to like almost be in everybody to. I don't know where a new player is going to go. Actually, this is probably where I just start forcing alerts. Colors and we saw that something happened. Which actually is probably the. Where do I initialize? Somewhere around there. Oh, we got all these arguments. I think is person. Now, person ID might be a problem. And next baby. Does a blind reference into the array. Not so good. Yeah, that didn't work. Does because I did home location. Try to something different. Okay. All right. So you got popped out. So that is too early. It has already expired. This used to work with ancient. Or maybe this happens before loading and it's expired. Or maybe there's some cleanup code, dude. Person CPP. Or, no, because I specifically pointed at 00. I'm not pointing it at a person. Okay. Where can I add you? First player update. There's some place that it does. So this is up in message process. We're not going to get. It's going to be a player says. Like player update. Maybe it just doesn't like the negative one. Oh no, wait, this is going to be 00 player relative, so it's going to be like too close to the marker. Yeah. Okay, so that's an okay constant. All right, so we're at location slips. It's the top one. That should be at least functional. Sure. Yep, dot dot. Matches, master. I don't think the readme changed. I'm going to have to update the colors. No, I also had to do a bunch of spurious versions just to update things. 7. Oh, I guess it's possible even if there's a black badge color. Uh, oh, did still put leader supporter on there. I mean, it's still at least functional. No, actually, is master. Currently. our badge color. All right. I should probably try and fix the tag display while we're here. Draw home flip, is that? Yeah. Oh, and he actually records what was drawn on that slip. Well, we don't replace slips that much. That's not as big a deal. So for everything except the home marker, he's offsetting it for some kind of label. Well, no, because the label's still there. Oh, no, he does home. And then a label on that one. The other one is Bell. One's map. Translate temp person key. He's reusing slips. I'm not. Else. So that is. Else it's a map. Draw a person if it was ever a person. If person hint ever drawn, draw that thing. All right, so I think we only need some of this. Oh, this also affects the logic, as it has to move slips over to make space for the words. Oh, interesting. That deals with the home marker, but this is going to be kind of the same function. Where'd this go? Oh, yeah, I removed the patch to remove this. Oh, this is where I might want to do a feature thing in case it ever gets that broken. Uh, where were you person hint temporary. Bell pause. Drawstring bell. That draw color. Draw top is erased. Arrow index not equal to -1. Wait. These both do the same thing. Everybody has a label. Okay. All right. Somewhere below arrow index equals -1. Or, was that not equal to negative? Okay. Your set draw color draw sprite. Arrow index not equal to -1. This is using location slips. This is setting some stuff up. It's not doing a draw sprite. M home arrow sprites. This is in, yeah, this is a draw location slip. Okay, so toggle multiplicative blend. Draw top is erased. Temporary, 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 temporary. Home dist. I guess did I move that out? And there is your dist 1000. We've got a bunch of location bumps for the stuff we have drawn up to this point. That labeling was free, kind of. Oh, this is the draw color for the text. Draw top is erased. Oh, okay, so this is his distance offsets. This is my distance offsets. But you were a case where the home arrow was sort of automatically labeled. And we bumped stuff down for the arrows. This almost becomes, we need to bump down for the arrow. If indents 1. That's the bell, drawstring bell. So this is kind of actually what we're looking at. Oh, except you go up. And then it's temporary. Hmm. Oh, because these go on top of the home. This one doesn't have a home. This gets so confusing. Okay. So this goes over from the center of the arrow to the next spot, and then from the center of the text to the spot where the text is going. If there is, so really, what we're looking at here is we have finished drawing this. Actually, this text distance is probably going to be set. probably we're going to say if we draw this, would do that. If you're labeled, you definitely go down. So you need to move up to the place where you're going to draw stuff. We have handling labels. We'll move over for the arrow, which we just finished. If we draw a label, we have to move over for that. Oh, you go over a full one, and then we go to the center of the next thing. I feel like I want to finish the arrow. Actually, you're going to be kind of twice. We have to go to our draw position, and then we have to go to the next position. If we draw something. So this is going to be an if person hint, basically. I guess we have if labeled. And we're just assuming it's only there. Else, if location slip person key. Then we've got some kind of label. We have to move over, and then when we're done, we have to move back, or move over the rest of the way. This is if temporary. He's assuming he's drawing some kind of label. If it's a person hint, just grab that. I guess works. I don't think I really tracked the ever drawn. Because we only have one slip per string. Map hint. So okay, so he's calculating that stuff and then saying, okay, well, if you draw this, then you have to bump that. It doesn't really leave this as being arrow pause, but oh, that's an alignment thing. And then other piece of this is that we're going to need a little bit of similar logic. When we update target position. Actions that bottom text. Not hidden disk, that's the arrow. You handle labeled. If location slip labeled. Which we only have to deal with in this. We only have to deal with this in this case before, so it's labeled. For this purpose, it is. I was dealing with this as home slip. Vim itself seems to be fine. The axe search I use, I sometimes have to kill the window because it went off searching too many files. So I was using labeled as a trigger for home. Or rather, you need to skip. But in this case, I have to draw something in the middle of it. So if it's the first home slip, or a person. Well, I'm not sure you need the label for baby. That we've got a color for. Now I guess I could use leader follower colors, but that's not obvious. And draw location step. Oh, nope, I was actually using that for the home sprite thing. We do not want to use that. That is actually controlling the sprite drawing. I did forget about the baby case. But location slip labeled, and we got I think I used to have 3 conditions. Needed to go multi-line more, so well, this one kind of does too. Now I could treat this as any label for positioning purpose. Only drawing that we have to be particular about. No, that's actually Aaron. That's actually this. Makes that a lot less nice. How much do we use this down here? We actually only use it. Is the location slip labeled? Or actually, right now I'm only doing names on the bottom anyway. I almost don't need to deal with the bell case, except as just kind of type stuff. If labeled temporary person, which this is, well, that thing. There's only art for that in one orientation. And then of course the thing I have to see is, are there so many babies that even the current presentation will not contain them? Okay, I was editing something there and lost my semicolon. Now, quite possibly everybody's dead here. Yep. Oh, but I've got my automatic marker here. Oh, I actually put that into the... Oh well, we'll update it. So that did not update coordinates properly. Also, we need to update our draw color. I probably also need to do add temp location slip. This needs to be somewhere far away, so that it's not like, oh, you're too close to your marker. That might have actually been the issue. Location slip. Draw a location slip. Was putting... Nope. Okay. Never mind. That was totally necessary. Draw location slip needs to set a straw color. That's the arrow. For pencil font, Where's your set color? Draw color. All right, now where we update this. Oh, no, the actual thing here was I didn't want to draw babies. Uh, hmm. Hmm. So you're using explicit thing. Do I just not record the key for them? I don't need it. Implication slip. We already got a test for this. Color. Although we've already set our value here. We've got an else case. Okay, so there's our free marker. I guess this could also work on the same principle. And I don't know if the direction matters that much. Now it seems that the first hierarchy is always white. Oh, right, because that means that they get erased by location, which is just how markers work. Oh, I wonder if I don't have a hierarchy color because I don't have a hierarchy. Well, this we can't actually tell. Yep. This is probably something weird with it doing person updates. Oh no, because every time I reset these every time I my own person. Okay. And it looks like indeed now we have no personal leader color. This is where I actually kind of do need to test how this works with see if that adds a leader badge or if I've messed something up in my colors here. Or maybe if these recorded a bad color at the time they were created. Okay, so you got blue. Badges are still white. I don't remember where anybody with the clothes was. Can't see your little thing yet. Okay. So now those turned white. There's probably something weird with the dummy ones I'm doing. And our color is white. I would actually have to get second hierarchy to specify it. So let's get rid of those. Well, as long as you stay white, we're... Oh, no, I actually do have to recompile, though. You have to be able to update this. So I need at least one person from that. Make sure they stay alive. Oh yeah, we got the follower thing, which... That might be a... No. I wasn't paying as much attention to those. I'll see how that works out spam-wise. There's the other shirt. And you're a baby. Oh, and the order is still outstanding. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't actually care about you that much. You should actually be a different hierarchy. I guess we're just having the labels pop up with your color could have been helpful. We won't initially be able to see your color until we can get yet another person in with your baby. Okay, you're a baby. You were also white? I thought he did something to, like, unify colors. You're the baby. Maybe colors just aren't working on my server? Okay, so now is this a problem with my mod? Where I've messed something up? Or... and I overwrote the original executable. By accident earlier. Gotta go back here. Uh, they've already read it. I'm gonna run around and look though. No. Well, okay, that's the baby. You look like you're still white though. Huh. Now what's wrong with badge color? Maybe white isn't a valid badge color. No, it is, although it's the last one. So I think badge colors. Oh, maybe it's because I'm reconnecting. Doesn't communicate that well on reconnect. Uh, but only a baby in its own view would have a different badge color, but their head is also blocking it. Oh. Well, if it's only on a following chain. We are getting the notices of. Hmm. I know it's like. So none of those messages were exchanged and loading up there. Aha. Yep. That was a little bit of a right on the edge of the distance, I guess. Okay, so maybe white is like a default state or invalid. And it might just be because I'm reconnecting a bunch. So it maybe like do get a color which you connect by yourself. Hey, the child, one baby doesn't seem to even have the marker. I guess you wouldn't have observed them following. Maybe only explicit follows get colors. I think I've seen white in the base game. That's why I was going to look at the protocol. Follower, follow. List of people following other people. Okay. So it's a list of people following other people. Fixed color list. Maybe it's actually FW is what we'd see? Aha, indeed. The kid... No, not the kids. That would be a... And then a follower update. Leader oh, there's no color index in the initial follow message. Only an explicit follows. I wonder if that's a bug. Get follow generates info for all players and doesn't touch following update. Okay. This seems like color index equals -1. One ID is greater than 0. The color index. We update everybody. Well, this is... Their leader should be null. Get an object in color index. Equals -1. Get unused leadership color. Oh. Maybe those are only updated during manual follower events? Right, because this is all the text decoding stuff. Follower ID. Yeah. Follow ID. Wow. Get following message. It was following ID. Or no leader if we had. Who were exiling. That actually assigns it. That's the giving phrase. Where are we? Adding a player. Child inherits mother's leader. Yeah, that may or may not be it. Not sure. It's odd. I think it was. I heard about that. I don't think it was just not his game. Automatic. Other follows. Don't assign your ship color. Uh, they're only assigned on book and file. Colors. Placement. Did follow. Okay. Not much we can do about that. That's the server. Okay, so we got our leader or porter labels. We got the color if it's available. Cleaned up the dummy things that we forgot to diff and check our debugging on. It's probably had this. Uh, all right, we might possibly want. Um, That's going to be some fishing. We think that the family command seems to be kind of doing it in client. So we've already got his genetic family as a thing. Well, this is going to be a lot of graphics. Probably going to touch the family hearts enough that it would be messy to do in 2 patches. Oh, and okay, so that's the key. That's the graves. The animation relation to might be a separate flag. But getting stuff done to the animation system requires these things without like changing all the function signatures. And actually, as long as I'm touching. Series. No close family, so help overlay, yum hover, learn. No major interface. So one of the issues we've been having is this gets hidden by hats, and I think Jason moved the emotes down, and I didn't do the course. Yeah, those people are still alive. Are you Vogue? You are Vogue. Oh, I did the die ready hat. Of course. Oh, but I don't see any stuff for myself. You're probably A2, right? I mean, I could probably fix that for test. Yeah, that's behind. Emote above all body parts. Or emote on top of head. Body emote above all, other emote above top of head index. And there's the sweat drops, which are, oh, they're on top. Oh yeah, this is just the miscellaneous draw. Let me try and figure out. Actually, Bank.h. So you have the blank line above, and actually not this brace part of you. Is this something I? This is draw with emotes. Hopefully, I don't need any like context information from the surrounding code. Did you wander somewhere in the process? Nope. Now it's being drawn twice without fade behind the hat. Did I forget? No, I didn't. Oh, this must be like for each. Ah, so this was inside head index before. And maybe there's some other thing happening here that's affecting the fade? Maybe that was just like too many of them all at once. Okay. Oh. Right. Oh, that person was actually. I swear I went and ate. Okay. Well, you actually aren't useful to me. Although I might need to do that. My only vlog. So you have to take off the hat. I mean, you're probably almost dead, but. And then who was the mother? Maybe? Nope, you're brand new Eve. Yeah, I don't even know where everybody is. About 4. You can. It's not useful to me right now. Okay, that's still behind. I just have to get the right context where this player can see another player who's wearing a hat. I should get multiple hats so it's a little bit easier, but I only got the one player set up as Vogue. Most of the time is okay. Okay, so this was not far enough up. Clothing, something about the head index. That head index. Object clothing not equal to N. Visible layer in worn clothing. Back shoe. Tunic. Hat. Head. No. Clothing hat. Hat on top of everything. Except he changed, I know he changed the one emote to go above this. Head emote on top of everything, including hat. Oh, okay, so this was actually not the right spot. An emote on top of this. I thought I went down here and then it was like sweat drop, but it must have been multiple things. Nope. And now we're not in I. Object person. Draw with emotes. Head emote not equal to 0. This would be like eyes and the other place I was, it's like it loops once for each sprite. This might be outside the sprite loop. Okay, but now a baby. And you don't have a hat on. It was a 4. You died. Let's see how my Vogue player is doing. I just need to make a couple extra hats. Everybody can be wearing one. Okay, you're still around. Vogue. You're almost dead. I don't think you have any living relatives right now either. You may have no relatives at the time being. Here's all this stuff. There we go. And somebody died. We'll have to get used to that. Because it didn't used to do that. So we'll see if it makes sense, but some hat items would completely hide it. Okay, so this was it. So that fixes the layering issue. One thing we want to do is, so we've got this as a draw position. We've got a draw with relation distance. Now this is just a flag. Set animation, draw relation distance. That's partially abstracted, so I can do. I guess seeing graves that had one genetic family could be useful. What was it called again? Genetic family. What I did there. Really? Maybe it was only misspelled here? Yeah, okay. Uh, you're just Boolean effectively. Oh, which actually is going to affect some of this. So you are just. Actually, if we call this draw at all, that's probably implied. Oh, wait, I'm. How about we copy this code instead of changing it? Uh, family. All right. Well, I'll leave this here for now. I guess this already did have its own distance check. That was going to kind of overlap with the. And I might actually want to tie these in. Well, they might not always. I'm gonna have to see how they work. Draw genetic family. I guess these could possibly share some setup code. Although I might want to change some of this stuff. Okay. Living life page. Your dot H. We're not gonna worry about the graves just yet. That for now. Forgot about that. That is the grave one. Right, and we can do that in the same. I probably planned to have this. Uh, but for now. Hmm. Yeah, I might be able to simplify this one. Oh, but you're a baby object. You're still in object. This is probably just going to show up as extra hearts for now. Thicker hearts. I could tweak the position maybe. Address will never be null. Oh. This was scaling that we don't need. So this will depend on what we end up doing. I've got an idea, but I haven't looked into practicality yet. And everybody's dead. This is A3. Get long player back in. Okay, yes, that's 2 hearts of different sizes. Uh, I don't actually have proof that it doesn't show up on unrelated people. And also, I'm not going to have a diverse enough family here to see how it works with, like, uncles and... Alright, so both of you are showing something right now. I think this is a sprite, not a... something that ever actually shows up. That's still in documents. No. Just didn't see it. I don't I don't know what this is used in, if it's used in anything. But I've seen a gold ball. We use it for mosquitoes and things. But I don't know that it's used in anything, so it wouldn't show up in the objects you can scan through real easy. Actually, I guess the complete thing does have all the sprites, but I never copied that over. I don't need... the complete one text. Rabbits, rabbit clothing. I think maybe it's something that's like in the record player or something. So when he's got all the basics in place and he does the demo. More characters. Hmm. Oh, the trees are in bits, apparently. There's a gold square. Pawns, wolves. That is. Woodworking. Well, not a gold ball, precise. It wasn't the record player. There's the sheep. That was right before release, I think. Did the making a sheep video. Actually, no, but a little bit later we got the Arctic, which actually had gold. I don't know. Remember what the gold ball was for? Oh, maybe that's Apocalypse fill in for the slots. So Arctic, so gold was kind of top tech at that time, so it might be around here. I haven't seen the monument yet. And we could, but actually, and it was in the desert. Yep. Okay. So it's the monument ball. Um. So it was originally from the Love Emotion. So this would be. Well, what are we thinking of it as? One, one, five. I think I copied this from Sweat. There's like a scaling or something. I suspect that doesn't make family hearts, genetic family. This that's 64 by 64. The heart would have been pretty small. This might not need any scaling. Okay. Wow, that like completely obliterates the heart. In about the same position though. Hmm. So I'm not necessarily sure what the relationship here is. If these things will always be drawn together, or if one implies the other. I'm going to kind of have to see. And I'm probably going to want to do something to make them easier to distinguish in the meantime. One of my original thoughts was, this is a little bit weird. The fact that we're using two of these. This actually kind of wants to go back to our original position, wherever that was. This is the head, body. That's just doing positions. Facing mode on top of eyes. Mouth on top of head. I was kind of behind the head before. The frontmost drawn hand. On top of, this is the head, body. One of my original thoughts is you could do it sort of like a halo effect, but I didn't like it with the heart, particularly because the heart changed size and got smaller. This is a little bit easier to control because I'm not using that channel. Although might be too small to see. Yeah, so then we need to tweak it. And actually, this has a very distinct outline, which is kind of not great. Yeah, that's way the heck too big. And behind the head, but not behind the body. Do we need like anim head? Yeah, we need anim head pause. Anim head wrote delta. Unless I like well, it's sprite pause. Like recreate that stuff. I repositioned it a little bit, maybe. So a little bit bigger. This thing is setting the position, so yeah, so you've got the offset, which is up there. You even want an offset? Now I guess another tactic here would be to, okay, that's too low and probably too big. Well, you got big hair. We do like even a smaller version. Oh, that would still kind of conflict with the heart. And I might be able to do something with the visual priority. Oh, and she's dead. Switching the... if I did it in the original position, I could change the priority by draw order. That might kind of affect which one came out as more. Yeah, that doesn't look good. And I don't have the characters with the big hair right now. I mean, maybe if it was a lot fainter. Wouldn't be too bad. That's just too big. So if we do a small well, that's gonna still gonna conflict a little bit with the smaller like grandchild grandmother ones. Oh, but that's gonna be behind the head. Uh, Hearts. Ooh, and I thought of something. One moment. I'm taking it general. Okay. That is distinct. Oh, actually, what we can do to test that, then it's all going to be a wash. It's that size. Now, I guess what I'm mainly concerned about is the people who don't fall under this, who don't fall under the heart system, but still count. So having that be behind, probably be fine. It was a little bit harder to see. Yeah, so that'll give that higher priority. That'll be more visible. I'll wander off here. on the people without it. The hearts will be more visible there, but it'll still be count you don't. And that might actually solve the priority problem in general. But that's enough to mark somebody as counts. And then that is just a little, well, I don't know if graves keep genetic family mark. Ridge grave, grave info. Oh, you know what? I think I actually had to add something to grave info for this. Yeah, because relation distance is my thing. So we would just have to add his genetic family and copy it over at the same place. Well, no. Because, no, I don't think that works. Grave.relation distance, get relation distance, given all of this information. Wait. If it was pointed to as our offspring before as they were born. Speed. Current speed equals plus fit. Oh my gosh, this is actually communicating the information. Ancestor. Just got our own lineage. War stat. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of places this information comes from. And the graves have all the information to say you're you're Wachua. But family comes from the server. Well, okay. Player speech, ancestor of this other. Make offspring say ancestor. So it's ancestor for purposes of genetic score. Get live object. Ancestor ID. Player O. Players get, that's a live object. In player ID, player's size. Yeah, so this actually communicates this for live players. You could try to track people you knew about. I think there's a process. Grave person. of player ID. Now, graves have to account for anybody. A grave message for a player ID, people that you were genetic family of should be only ones that existed since you were there. This might have issues with like reconnects and things. That's grave info if we just hover over some random thing. Now, is that grave info G? Oh, would that replace all of that information? Right. It would be unknown. Other for a lineage message. Yeah, so we could try for like, oh, and then that would only be for players. We have to see a player that had been born since we were alive die. That would be a fairly normal thing. We'll have to see if it works. Uh, Draw relation. Grave info. Object description. Bridge grave. Grave info. If GI is genetic family. Draw genetic family. Don't need the number. So this would only be testable if I like murdered a baby, I think. Just gonna really only do it at runtime unless I like completely recreate. Oh, was a grave person not a live object? Oh, pff. Wrong pointer. Completely recreate the server logic for who counts. Because I mean, to the extent we can write, uncle, niece, nephew, we can probably figure it out. Oh, I don't know how, but it works. Maybe I still had some information about this person. Or maybe I kind of got the death message as I showed up. Or I still got some information about the person. I don't know. It looked like it actually showed up on Hover, so it's like a grave person there. Or maybe because it was my immediate relative. All right, so show genetic family. Really should be something like this. And then we have to do all. I should do some testing to make sure I spelled things right. All right, so that current value is 1. I guess what I didn't do is test just, now that we're reading a setting, test the default works. Yeah, we can still get that. All right, that goes to 0. I guess it sends us a complete player update about them or something. Okay, good. And then that needs to go into here so we can grab all of our default settings later. Oh, actually, what I didn't do with the patch repo was change the lineage or that location slip setting back. So you need to add game source setting, so genetic family. I mean, these could just about be different. It's pretty closely related. We should be on there. Oh, right. We added one thing. It's like, I don't know if you want those modifications or not. That looks like the only game source thing to me. All right. So we are in testing phase. We fixed that. Hmm. Yeah, I think the help update is going to have to be another day. PG export. I want to make sure I have a build for me. Hmm. I did not really set up to say that we can ship one of these and not the other. All right, README will need to be updated. Oh, interesting. Maybe you get information about people who died recently? Let's go to a different player. Okay, yep, it's still showing. Oh, but you're almost dead. I mean, I think we're just about done here, but all right. I don't want to forget package files. Oh no, I have to get this right again. Joe learns. No, it was Oh no, I did have a setting for that. There was location, slip, colors. Location, slip, colors. Hmm. Okay, that actually complete. And then show relation distance. Oh, now you see, genetic family was sort of, well, I guess it's gene score, so genetic family kind of. Maybe like players who score would have been a little bit. I think we're probably have this. Uh, uh, readme. Start relation distance. Oh, to disable hearts. Actually, I'm not sure it does include aunts, uncles anymore. Blah, 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 blah. Brother, sister. Hmm. Hearts. Account for teen score, aka. Given that, I might actually just want to sort of block the actual display of the plus family, but we'll see how that works. Another option would be to put a timer on that and then only display that particular mark when you sort of pinged for it. And then we'll have to test it out today, see if it actually works, along with location slip stuff. All right. We tweaked all the things that were above that. Changelog, readme. Update our package files again. And hopefully we're in a pretty good place to try this out today. That will be in a little bit while after I have lunch, though. Okay, yeah, we're actually done with the disc for watching. But he hosted me. Well, in a moment. Oh, I missed a follow too. Let's see. You? It's about what I'm usually on. However, I'm having a tooth taken out next week. They've basically said plan time off work, but also plan something to do. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to be feeling. I might be feeling really uncomfortable. I might be feeling just uncomfortable enough that I can sort of chill out playing a game and maybe not talk as much. We'll see. I think this was game dev. Stage codes is he's on final testing for something here. I noticed him playing music and swearing sometimes, if you mind those things, but otherwise, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye and